Yo, this is Tone Kapone, and you're getting lifted to the sounds of my DJ, DJ Spaceship. Go ahead and beam him up, boy. Let's get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him.
Greetings and salutations from us to all the nations. We're about to get loose, strictly for entertainment. We're reppin' Tampa Bay, 10 toes down. It's waves of the bay. No, we ain't playing round. Saturdays from 10 to 12. Make sure you ride the wave. It's Tone Kapone and DJ Spaceship on your airwaves. We're mixing interviews, R&B and hip hop. We're blasting off, and the top is just a pit stop.
This is Waves of the Bay, episode 24. I'm Tone Kapone. I spell my name with a K. You spell my name with a C, you will not see me. Follow me, all social media. Just go to my webpage, tone-kapone.com. Once again, I spell it with a K. We got DJ Spaceship over here, just finished blasting off.
Yes, sir.
This show is pre-recorded. Let me put that out there. So if y'all try to give us a call and chat or whatever, you know, we appreciate it, but we ain't going to be able to answer that phone call. So hope y'all at home just jamming with us, staying safe. And with that, I'm going to pass it to DJ Spaceship.
They can still give us a call.
Hey, somebody answer.
Give a call and somebody pick up, say, hey.
Just leave a message.
Leave a message. Send a text message. You know, let them know Waves of the Bay is the show you tuned into. Those are the guys that are the apple of your eye.
Oh, you sound like my daughter right now, though.
The apple of your eye. Eat your vegetables, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going to do something that is unprecedented. We're going to have us a good time.
Yes, sir.
Is that all right with y'all?
They ain't ready for that.
They might.
They might be.
They might.
I don't know.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of the hot seat. I will be interviewing the one and only Tone Kapone.
Yeah.
Make some noise for Tone Kapone. Blow your horns. Beat on your dashboard. It might make your dashboard come back on. You know, the digital dash go in and out. So Tone, man, let's get right into it. So, why you chose the name Tone Kapone? Like, what's the significance between your actual name? Like, what was it? Tone Kapone.
I've been kind of excited for this, man, because Spaceship be asking them questions, man. So I'm trying to see if I can make it through a whole interview right here.
You think you got it?
We'll see.
I think you got it.
I'll give it a good try.
You know, you around me too much to not be prepared and not know the hook is coming.
I'm sure, yeah, something.
Right.
Yeah, Paul.
But why the name? Why Tone Kapone? Out of all
Tone
the names
Kapone, man.
out there, why you chose Tone Kapone?
I've always gone by Tone because that's my middle name. Tony is not my first name.
Okay.
So I don't go by my first name. I go by my middle name because I'm a junior. So I've always gone by Tone or Tony or some variation of that. So Tone, that's easy right there.
Right.
But Kapone, I was always like, it was my cousin Juwan actually who gave me that name.
Okay.
But I'm always like a silent assassin, man. Like I'm always sitting back observing the room before I act. And that's pretty much why he labeled me as Kapone. He's like, man, watch out for Kapone. He's back there lurking.
Right.
So I put the two of them together. My homie Kobe in college at Mizzou when I was doing the radio show. I was actually co-hosting a couple radio shows on the station out there. And I was trying to figure out what name I want to go by, and you know, Pretty Tony and all this other stuff.
Right.
And he's like, man, just put them two together.
Right.
Tone Kapone, and boom.
That's how it became.
Yeah.
Now you started out doing music, and in the past we talked about, you know, what made you want to decide to, you know, get into rhyming and stuff. But you went from rapping into promoting, hosting, and now radio. What was it that made you want to transition? How were you able to give up your love to want to be an artist, to be somebody that's putting on shows and being on the radio?
Man, to tell you the truth, I kind of lost love for doing music, honestly, Doug. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's just it's not like I lost the love. It's just like I didn't really have the time, and when I had the time, it didn't really. I don't know.
It just didn't come out.
It wasn't calling me at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So during that time, I went ahead and like one thing I was really sick of when I was being an artist, like primarily, is going to all these shows with 20, 25 artists performing.
Right.
Half of them is good, other half is whack, and it's just we need to have like quality shows. So that's what I was in my head. So I'm like, all right, I can do this. I'm promoting myself when I do these shows anyways.
Right.
So as long as I put a quality show together, people's going to come out. And I pretty much put them two together. And thanks to We Fresh, Mr. Wiggins,
right.
Mr. Wonder is the one that put us on. But yeah, man, we just that was after my birthday party when we had them people come out to, what was that, Mansion? Uh-oh. And he got the wrong.
Ain't good.
But yeah, man, Mansion, I think it was. But after my birthday party, we had a good little crowd, and he approached us about doing the show, and that's what it was.
Now, shout out to We Fresh. Like you said, you putting on shows, and I've been riding shotgun with you the entire time. How is it that you choose who you like to have on the show performing?
I like to hear. It's not an open mic unless we say it's open mic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to walk up and just perform.
Right.
So I like to hear who's going to be performing. I like to, if they have some videos, I'm trying to scope it out. Or else if I'm out there, and you might see me at an event, and I'm out here chopping it up, saying what's up to people, networking, whatever the case. But I'm also out here recruiting too. Like, I'm looking to see the artists that's performing and seeing who got the stage game, because there's something about that stage game, man. Like, especially being a former artist at the same time.
Right.
It's like I need to see somebody that can actually do something on stage.
Right. Now, one thing that I picked up on when it comes to you and performing, you're big about artists, walking amongst the crowd and while they're performing and stuff like that. Why is that so important to you for an artist to walk amongst the crowd while they're performing?
It's a separator, man.
Okay.
Like, that's really what it is. Like, and I don't, you can do what you want to do as an artist, but the real entertainers like to interact with the fans.
Right.
And that's the way you can interact right there, especially if you have a wireless mic. Like, get off the stage.
Right.
Like, why are you still on the stage, man? Go chop it up. Do something that they ain't expecting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been times where, I'm performing, I'm coming from the back. You know what I'm saying? With the wireless, you hear the music, like, where's Tone at? And then you hear my voice, and I'm coming from the back of the crowd.
Right.
Just something to catch them off guard.
Now, with you doing these shows and you seeing other artists, doing their thing, and I know with you, it's never been about you getting more shine than anybody or anything like that. But has there ever been a show or an artist or a time that you were at you put a show on and you like, dang, I want to get back out there? Like, has there ever been a time or a phase for you?
I don't really think so, man. Like, doing music is nothing to me. Like, honestly, like, it's cool.
Okay.
And it's easy to get back to doing it. All I need is a beat, and I know of plenty of producers.
Right.
And I just need to sit down and actually think about what I'm talking about. So that's nothing. But the artist out here that inspires me to like go harder at everything is Fresh P right now, man. Like, that dude is just seeing where we met him probably 4 years ago now.
Right.
And he was already at a high level at that time, and he's only gotten better.
Right.
He hasn't fallen off or none of that stuff. So, seeing artists like that just grind, like seeing artists like, just seeing artists evolve, like DeBron, like Mike Mass, the Jinxes, cats like that, the Keezies, like seeing these cats just evolve, and especially cats that have been on our stage,
right,
and that are better than when they were on our stage. I love seeing that stuff.
Watching
like
the
that.
growth.
Yeah, man, I'm all about that.
Now we're all aware of what's going on right now. You got the whole coronavirus pandemic that's going on. Shout out to everybody that's out there staying safe. And we all see, you promoting and you advertising things that you have going on with Waves of the Bay, and the interviews from it, and just stuff on your own. And you just recently put out a post so people that want to receive your newsletter to put their emails and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
How is it that you're able to stay sane and focused to continue to do that during this pandemic when it's, the social distancing? You're not around anybody no more. Like, you're not around Spaceship. You're not around anybody at the station. Not around Surge. It's just you pretty much by yourself. And, shout out to Winnie and your fam. Like, how do you stay in that same space to continue to go?
That's pretty much what keeps me going. Like, I'm an Aries. I need to have something going on at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just dead time right now. And the way I feel about it, we have to come out of this better than when we went into this. Because a lot of people ain't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is going to be halted by, the pandemic and everything. I'm trying to be progressing still after the pandemic. That's a separator. That's
right.
A differentiator. So what am I going to do with my downtime? Let me read more about podcast promotion. Let me read more about this. Let me figure out how to do virtual stuff. Let me figure this stuff out, because that's the way everything's going right now. So I'm not about to get left behind when I have downtime to be studying and researching and stuff. Like, it's part of the growth, man. We got to keep pressing, dog. Now,
you have writer's block. You have creative block. And then you also have, when you reach that brick wall and you're trying to create, or you're trying to put something together, is there a person that you go to help spring your thoughts to the next level? Or like, how do you get beyond that creative block?
There's not one person, but you're one of the people. My wife, Winnie, is one of the people. And then sometimes it'll be Laster. But most of the times I don't really ask for help, though.
True that.
Like real talk. Like I'll write something down, I'll just come back to it. If I'm not sure of it, I'll just come back to it in a few days and figure out how to flip it better. But then if I ask you something you don't like it, I'll be like, all right, let me figure out a different approach.
Yeah, and it's important that you got to weigh out the pros and the cons, because sometimes, like what happens a lot of times in today's society, people will they'll put out what they're trying to do, and then a person give their view on it, and it's opposite of what they're trying to do, and they
shut it all the way down.
They shut it down, or they say that person hating, or they get animosity. How is it that you present something to DJ Spaceship, and he's disagreed with it, but it was something you was like really strong about? How did you work through that tug of war?
It's all about trust, man. Like I don't go to everybody with that stuff,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So I know that at the end of the day, you want the best product out there possible,
right?
But if there's something I'm really, convicted about, I'm gonna figure out how to flip that element of it,
right? And
try to incorporate it somehow. Like the flyer that we did for Kansas, man, I went through all kinds of different variations on that one.
Yeah, it was.
But at the end of the day, it was something pretty true to what I had originally envisioned,
right?
But also with the ideas you threw at me too. So
gotcha.
Now,
going back to Kansas, not only did you take me out there with you, but you took your fam, and you were able to do something that some people have not done. And I see some people have mentioned they wanted to actually give it a shot as well. What was it that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna take the show on the road and I'm gonna do this? I'm gonna go back home and show them how we get down. Like I'm gonna bring it to the house. Like what was it?
It's timing, bro.
Okay.
Like it's always been something I wanted to do, man. I've been gone from the junk for since 2006.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's always something I wanted to do as far as just putting on a show back there. Because back then, I did a show back there, but I just got started. It was not the same level at all. And then, like I said, timing, man. Me and you was on that level.
Right.
Like we can take this show to any city, any state, any country, and we're going to be successful, dog. And that's how I feel about it. So why not start at home? And then you know how it is, man. Like people don't really respect you or appreciate you till you do something elsewhere,
right? And
then come back home,
right? Now, what would you say was the highlight of you, from the show, being back home and connecting with some old friends, everybody coming back home for the sundown salute? Like, what would you say was the highlight of being back home
of that weekend?
Yeah.
I'd probably say definitely the event.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I've seen so many people I haven't seen in years, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, definitely that. Definitely that. I wish Ariana could have been out there because I know she would have been dancing too. Yeah. But yeah, definitely the event. Even seeing the old girls grind up on you.
Listen,
that
was a good time. That was a good time.
I was like, oh snap, Spaceship getting it, boy.
Listen, I've been just minding my business, man, just having a good time. And I didn't get a chance to see the full Monty of what was going on because I was, pretty much behind the turntables, and it was people outside, and it was two different rooms that it was going down in, man. Like
we had it on Swole that night for sure, man. Shout out Junction City.
Yeah, and I met some pretty dope artists from out there too. You know what I'm saying? Block was out there. It was some people didn't get a chance to perform, but we circled the wagon back around and made it happen. So I want to ask you another question. I'm taking a different approach. Just take a different step this time. It's kind of a two-part question.
All right.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment on a personal level, and your biggest accomplishment as far as your career as being an artist, a producer, a promoter, and doing radio?
I say personal level is just being a family man, like all together, like being married and having a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like being a family man, being a father. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't grow up with my pops. My pops was in a coma when I was young and he passed away.
Right.
So I didn't get to know him at all. So just being able to hold it down, and that means everything to me. So that's definitely the personal side. Music-wise, musically, honestly, I would like to say Waves of the Bay, dog. Like really, like I feel like what we're doing right now is heading in the right direction. I feel like, shout out to Sergio, shout out to Flowhio, because I knew like when we got started back into music and like radio, I knew it was going to be a good look. But then once we got to FM,
right,
especially as soon as we got to FM, and then we're on a different type of FM, so we're not the ones that got, downsized and nothing. We're the ones that can play whatever we want to play.
Right.
Like we're still recording now,
right,
even though it's pre-recorded. So I just feel like what we're doing is we're on the right path, man.
Right.
Whether we stay on FM or syndicate or whatever it is, the next step is.
Right.
Like I feel like Waves of the Bay is definitely like on the come up.
Now I want to give a shout out to your moms, because she's a very down to earth person, and by going out to Kansas, I got to learn a lot more about you by getting to learn about your mom. I'm a huge airplane, nerd. Know a lot about them. Just afraid to fly, but I will.
Craziness.
How is it that you were able to become the father that you are? Like, who was the father figure that you leaned towards or that you had in your life to help you to go down this journey? Because being a parent is a never-ending journey. You know, we do we do based upon what we know, what we feel is best. But who was that male that you reached out to or that you had in your corner to help you become the father that you are?
Be my grandpa, but he was my grandpa was an honorary dude, old school. You know what I'm saying? My mom was really my pops. So, but if it's a male figure, like all the way, like every true sense of the word, it'd be my grandpa. And then my neighbor across the street, Mr. Watley, he held it down as well.
Gotcha.
And then you know, being a father, or right before I was fatherhood for me,
right?
You know, looking at fathers like yourself, David Laster, Paul Johnson, Jay Caston, Happy, you know, Ramsey, cats like that, seeing how I don't know any deadbeat dads, you know what I'm saying? So that says a lot right there. So just watching how they move. Now, Charles Reese.
Let's take another step, because you're also married. Shout out to Winnie. How is it? What is it like to be married and to be in the industry where you know so many distractions and you see so many of your friends fall by the wayside? You know, some of them get caught up and some of them get distracted and they go the other way and things happen. How is it that you're able to stay focused and be married and being, you know, just being around? You're in Babylon, but at the same time you're keeping it heaven and harmony all the way around you at all times.
It's a respect factor, man. Like, for one, like I'm known. You know, I'm not like famous or nothing, but I'm known, and everybody has cell phones and stuff like that. So it's a respect factor, because if I decided to be disrespectful, it's going to be out there quickly. Very quickly. Like, people don't, and that's another thing about it, man. Like, I understand what I have at stake and the consequences. Like, I would never want to hurt my wife like that. And some people don't value their relationships like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear it. You know, I don't want any part of those problems. Like, I don't want to be divorced, none of that stuff. At all. But some people don't value their relationships. Some people just be out there doing what they do, and, you know, everybody's relationship ain't my relationship. Assets
and liabilities. Like, some people put value in assets, and some people put more value in pride, and they, you know, hold on to those liabilities, not realizing one takes more insurance to hold on to, and then one really doesn't have a value as the other does. So I mean, I commend you on that. Like, just on a personal level, man to man, like, even though you said that you learned from me as a father, I learned from you as a man. So I may have never said it to you out front, but there's situations that I've gotten to, and I haven't said, what would Tone do? I would say, what would Tone say to me if I made this choice that I'm going to make, or if I go that direction with what I'm going to do? And a lot of people are afraid to do so. So why do you think it's hard for men to be, you know, vulnerable and express emotion with one another, and be vulnerable and express emotion with their women and stuff?
It's how we was raised, bro. It's how we was raised. It's how the media raised us too. You know, we supposed to be hardcore. We supposed to be emotionless. You know, stoic. And that's the way it was when we was coming up. Nowadays, these kids, they a little bit too soft. You know what I'm saying? But they in touch with their emotions at the same time, so you can't knock them for that.
But how do we break that chain? Like, you know, how do we break that generational curse?
You got to raise people to be open. It's all about parenting and raising people up. And if it's not your kid, and, you know, your kids, friends, whoever it is, man, let them know that, you know, there's an open place for them to talk and express their feelings, and, you know, and that you won't be judged.
True that. Yeah. Now, the thing, you know, when it comes to the music game and stuff like that, you know, it's a lot of sexism, and I feel that some ladies don't get a fair shake if they're not half naked and stuff like that. But then you have those unicorns come through, like right now you have Lizzo, and, you know, you have, you know, some female artists that are out there doing their thing. Why do you think that it's important for us to show as much love to the female artists as it is to the male artists?
I think it might be more important to us to show love to the females, but it's because of a completely different reason you might think. Like, there's not that many female artists out here that's actually about their grind. And you can tell it, like, especially doing what we do. You know, there's some artists out there just trying to get their free drinks on, or, you know, trying to get at the DJ or the promoter or whatever the case, just trying to be famous for the time being. And then there's people out there that's actually trying to build a career off it, like Shaquela.
Trying to put in
you
that
know
work.
what I'm saying? Actually trying to build a legacy off of it. Gonga Lee, yeah, people like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just when you find somebody that's actually putting in work like a Nat Keza,
right?
You know, then it's always good to embrace them and uplift them, especially in the position that we're in,
right?
You know, and that's why I feel like all artists out there, but especially lady artists, like if you're doing music, you're trying to get on the radio, like we're the people you need to get at, man. This is Waves of the Bay. We do the Saturday nights. We play whatever we want to, and we're trying to play y'all's music, so you got to get on top of that, man. We got to be about business in 2020.
Right. Now, I'm going to take you back down memory lane. I'm going to take you back 4 years ago today.
All right.
The purple one passed away.
Yep.
Prince. How has his career had an impact on you and your career?
Oh, Team Light Skin, bro.
I guess I left the door open for that one. Open for that one.
But nah, for real, Prince, just the creativity, bro. Like he do whatever he wanted to do.
Right.
He didn't ask for permission.
Right.
He didn't ask for forgiveness.
But he had to get to that point. He had to get there.
But he had to put the work in.
That's true.
And even if he was putting the work in and people didn't recognize it, he was still going to keep putting the work in.
That's right.
You know, he played all the instruments. You know,
what I'm saying?
He wrote all the stuff. Like he did all this just so he can control his star.
Right.
And yeah, that's the creative aspect of it. Owning the masters.
Right.
You know, like he was business minded before all of it. Branding.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Prince was that dude, man.
So what would you say is the biggest misconception about you? You know, you as the artist, you know, you as the promoter, the host, the radio host, the personality. What is the biggest misconception about Tone Kapone?
I'd probably say that because I'm so cool in every situation, some people might think I don't care.
Okay.
But I care.
It can come off as nonchalant. I can say that firsthand.
But I care.
And that's the thing. People have to ask questions to understand instead of to react. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I can understand where you're coming from with the, you know, don't care. People can get that.
And I've been in experience, you know, like I've seen a whole bunch of different things happen. So sometimes I'm just soaking it in before I figure out how to respond. So
right.
I'd say that's probably it, man.
Right.
For sure.
Okay.
I definitely care, though, man. I take too much stuff to heart sometimes. Sometimes I tell myself to stop caring about stuff.
Right.
Especially stuff that don't involve me.
Right.
You know. Now,
one thing that I've always, the thing I can say about you is like, it's times that I get off the railroad tracks and I be ready to just like explode, you know, pause. I get mad, and you're the person that kind of, you know, helps calm me down, along with me asking myself, is it going to matter 10 minutes from now? Is it that serious? Are you going to waste 24 hours about something that's only 5 seconds, 5 minutes? You see what I'm saying? How do you handle the scenarios when it's something that you're just extremely upset about, but yet you have another stressful situation coming along, and then you have a family member come up, and they just kind of happen right in the midst of that? How are you able to separate the different storms at one time?
I would say I have to prioritize. Like if something's like serious, and that's going to take priority. If something's not that serious, and you know, I might not be mad about it the next day or a few days from now, I'm just going to put that off in the back burner,
right,
and focus on what's more important, focus on what I can control, and then try to help out any other way, like with the uncontrollables, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What would you say you add to the music scene in Tampa? Like, what has Tone added? Don't think about Spaceship. Don't think about Waves of the Bay. Don't think about Ignite the Night. What do you add to the music scene yourself on an individual level?
Quality and professionalism.
Okay.
I'll say it like that because I've been official with everything I've done since I've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to sound quality, graphic wise, things like that, and business wise, you know, stuff of that nature. So quality and professionalism. Plus I'm out here trying to reach back and lift people up with us. You know, it's not Ignite the Night is not about us at all.
Right.
At all. It's about the artists and the producers that can benefit from it. So I say that's what I'm bringing. When you see my name on an event, you know it's a quality event. If you see I'm hosting to something, if you see my picture on it, then you know that I'm involved somehow. Right. And usually when I'm involved with an event, I don't really like to take control, but at some point, you know, something starts falling apart and they look to me for advice.
Yeah.
And you know, I have no problem doing that.
So what would be a myth you would like to debunk about you as an artist that you know have heard or has come your direction?
I heard I had subpar bars, and I can't even lie. That's been burning since I heard that moment. So yeah, man, I like to think I have a little bit of bars to me, but that's in y'all's eye to behold with that.
I think you're pretty good with the bars and stuff. I mean, I'm not, no disrespect, you know, you got the Fresh Peas and Profits and stuff like that.
I'm not exactly,
but you're not the person out here claiming to be, I got bars, I'm Chris Jackson level,
right?
That type, like,
right.
I think when people know their lane as far as knowing what you do, and you do that, they do that, that helps them grow a lot more. You know, Yin Yang stopped caring about what people were saying. They know they don't got bars and that's not their lane, and they're okay with that.
Plus, I got some stuff coming very soon. I hope we can talk about it here in a second, but it's going to be highlighting the bars once again. So, man, what I take, well, this is Waves of the Bay. This is episode 24. DJ Spaceship's interviewing me, Tone Kapone. We got to play this NPR news right quick, and then we're gonna get back into the interview or play some music.
Let's do it.
We'll get right back into the interview in just one moment. This is WMNF 88.5.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the Mr. Come On Home will now resume. Your boy DJ Spaceship. I'm here with my brother Tone Kapone, man. Now, you seem to have like a love-hate relationship for us bald brothers. Why?
Oh, man.
What is it about us bald brothers you just can't let go?
Because a lot of y'all couldn't let go of it, man. A lot of y'all was fronting.
I let go.
But I told you to let go.
I told myself to let go.
All right, but I told you to let go too.
I told myself to let go because I was always curious of what I would look like as a bald, bald brother, and I finally went through that. But why do you think it's like what? Why you got a beef with us?
It's because y'all don't know when to say when. That's the problem, man. A lot of y'all was holding on too long, looking like Stevie. Hairline way back, the beads and all that, man. Like, nah, when it's time, it's time.
That's
just
true.
like right now, like Ray Allen. Wow.
But right now they're doing it all for, the whole situation being what it is. Some people, like, shout out to Teddy Riley. I don't know who, but he been clean.
But you never seen Ray Allen like that before this time. You know what I'm saying? He knew when to say when, and he kept it clean the whole time. Like LeBron, wait till LeBron shaves his head, man. It's over.
Listen, the person that caught me by surprise is Charlemagne.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen Charlemagne with no hair until recently. And it's toe up. His hairline is terrible.
Shout out to my boy BB because he's been bald as long as I known him, but then he grew his hair back. This dude has waves and stuff now. It's the complete opposite. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I still got my braids. Yeah, man, that's all. That's it.
So let's jump right back into it. So with you, I know, like I said, you do a lot of things. You're an artist, you're a promoter, and now you do radio. What other things do you have going on that we need to know about?
Man, like I said, I was gonna drop dime on y'all, man. This Saturday coming up, I haven't even told you this, man. You seen what LeBron was doing with the artists battling on IG Live, right?
Right.
I'm about to be battling on Blue.
You battling Blue JD?
Yeah, me and Blue JD is gonna go at it on IG Live this Saturday, man.
Pause. Now, when you say battle, is there any rules? Like, what's the rules?
We're going 10 songs, song for song, 2 minutes top on the songs, and they need to be originals.
Now, this is going to be on Facebook?
This is going to be on IG.
So it's going to be on IG Live?
Yeah, I'm going to package it up and have the video for afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to be going the same time as our radio show, but like I said, this is pre-recorded, so I can be in two places at one time.
Now, the thing about it with you and Blue, that's fam.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know each other's catalog. Do you think is there any song of his that you're afraid that he's going to drop out or like?
Nah.
So nothing at all?
Nah.
So you're prepared either way it goes?
It is what it is.
And who put that
I haven't
together?
made any new music, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just like that fried
so it
chicken
is what
and
it is.
sushi.
We're going to see what happens.
Yeah, so, I mean, how did that all come about? Who put that together?
DeBron put it together, man, but he saw what was going on with the producers or whatever, and we'd actually been talking about it. Like, he wants to bring us on to be part of it, but I let him run with his idea, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause we got enough going on, and that's his idea, so I want to see him grow it, but at the same time, I want to be part of it.
Right.
And it sounds like fun. I've seen the producers and everybody going back and forth lately, and it's a good way to hear some songs, talk some ish with the family, and I ain't gonna be doing nothing else anyway. So
right now, we used to do a show over in St. Pete at Food Bar.
Yeah,
tell me about how that vibe was.
I love St. Pete, man. St. Pete's a completely different vibe. I don't know why, but as soon as you cross that bridge, it's a completely different atmosphere. Yeah, and I missed the St. Pete show because you never knew what was going to happen in St. Pete, man. We seen a bunch of crazy stuff happen in St. Pete.
This is true, but
we also, being on Central, we had a lot of dope artists just walk in and just do work, and a lot of people come through support us once they heard the jams, and just want to be around the whole hip hop vibe. Right. So I definitely missed that, man.
Now, is there a chance that you can see yourself returning back in that area, putting shows on again, or is that that Thrillers? That's the end of the road for that.
We'll see what happens after this whole pandemic thing, man. Like, honestly, I think the days of like doing open mics and stuff like that at events, like at venues and stuff like that, I feel like it's on the decline right now.
Why do you feel like it's on the decline?
I feel like everything's going virtual right now, for real, man. And like, just even doing what we've done with Ignite the Night, like the last few years, like the turnout's not as strong as it used to be. and then like the artists, they keep changing. That's one thing that we've always been able to do is like stay ahead and stay connected to the new artists and new waves of artists.
Right.
But a lot of people can't say that.
Now, you mentioned not long ago, you mentioned actually a few times, I say here, about ending Ignite the Night. What made you come to that conclusion?
Just feels like it's time.
Okay.
Like, it's been 6 years, man, honestly. And we put a lot of people on stage. We've done a lot of events. It's like, honestly, like when the Elements ended, I was kind of sad just because, like, man, that was our baby and we had fun doing it. But it's like, how can I repurpose this time to do something better? And that's kind of how I feel about Ignite the Night right now, man. Like, I feel like we can be doing like something else.
Now, I'm gonna take you back to the Pegasus days. When we was over there at Pegasus. What's the difference between doing shows at Pegasus, the energy in Pegasus, and the energy in 5 Star?
I say the sound system.
Okay.
Off top. And then besides that, man, once again, it's just about timing.
Right.
Like when we was at the old Pegasus, man, that's a whole different crew of people we used to be around. The 5 Star, we still be getting it in, man, but it's really about the sound system, because we do have to operate the sound and do all this other stuff. And,
right.
But I like the vibe a whole lot better at the 5 Star. That old Pegasus, though, we used to get it.
It was definitely.
We used to get it, but a lot of people didn't want to go to Pegasus because of bad experiences previously. So,
gotcha.
Hey.
Now, looking at the current pandemic, what artist has stood out to you the most? Like, what artists have you seen capitalizing the most off of this downtime for, with the whole social distancing and stuff like that on a local level?
Oh, local? Oh, I'm sorry. I was about to say majorly, like easily, Timberland and Swiss.
Okay.
Like those two have easily capitalized the most around here. I mean, I'll say Novocaine did a really good job with the Smoking Words anniversary.
Right.
Kalia, she did her thing. J-Rock did a really good thing on Facebook. He did a crazy performance on there. But just artists out like DeBron, like what he's putting together, just having the artists go head to head.
Right.
Like whoever's actually ready for it, you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing a good job with it, man. And that's why I said like that's where we need to get to. And that's why I'm excited about doing, the Zoom stuff that we about to get into, and the producer, we're about to do the producer cipher. We're gonna have it broadcasting on Sunday,
right?
But we're gonna record it early on Zoom,
right? Do
our thing, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. I think it's gonna look good.
Now let's talk about DJs for a second. DJs in the area. What is your take on DJs? Do you feel that they get enough love? Do you feel they show enough love? Like, why do you think the artist DJ relationship is still kind of rocky at times?
I think people are socially awkward. I think that's a lot of the problem. Like social media has a lot of these younger cats afraid of or not knowing how to interact with people in public.
Okay.
Like we grew up before that. We knew, we had to do stuff a little bit differently because it was before social media. But between DJ and the artist, I just feel like the artists just are afraid to talk to y'all. And it's not that hard to talk to y'all. And people say that it's hard to find y'all. It's not hard to find y'all.
We everywhere.
Like y'all have events everywhere. Y'all have events with all DJs together. Like you can go to the Get Down or the Get Up and see like 6, 7, 8 DJs right then and there. You know what I'm saying? But when they approach it, they gotta have their business right.
Right.
They gotta come right.
And speaking of the Get Up and the Get Down, we're me and my Sinister Syndicate crew, we're actually in the process of taking that via Zoom and
I
different
can see it.
platforms.
I'm telling you,
like
man,
that.
it's built for it.
I mean, because right now, that's the wave, and that's the thing to do right now, because you can't have a bunch of people in the same place, and you're seeing all these parties like they just had up in, I think it was New York. They had a barbershop get busted, and it was like over 50 people at a party.
And you think about it, man, it's like how many times have we done events and people said they was going to make it, but they didn't, or else like we didn't. Like me and I won't even say it, but I've done an event during like a hurricane,
right?
And stuff like that. You take that all online, you don't have to make it, man. All you need to do is just log in.
Right.
And if you can't get there right then and there, I'll have a copy of it to view it afterwards.
Right.
I see that's the way stuff is going right now, man.
Right. Now, occasionally what I see from time to time is artists that feel they're not getting their just due, they're not getting the shine, they're not getting the attention and support they feel they deserve, and then they go and do these Facebook rants and stuff. How does something like that help and hurt a person?
Well, for me, it kind of like puts you in a category with me. Okay. It depends on who it is, but a lot of times it puts you in a category with me of that artist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of that artist. Now, the way it can help you in some situations, it can bring attention to you.
Right.
But not everybody wants that type of attention.
Right.
And especially if you're always the one looking for that type of attention, because people are going to just stop paying attention to you altogether.
Right.
And that's the type of person I am. Like, I don't really go for all that rah-rah type stuff. So I'll read it. I might save it so I can read the comments underneath and see, what everybody's going to say. But I've seen this conversation so many times that I've already know how it's going to play out.
Right. Now, one thing I know about you is you're a huge R&B fan.
Yeah.
Of the new R&B singers, who is it that has surprised you, or who is it who is it that has surprised you so far? That
surprised me?
Yeah.
I don't know about surprise, man, but I'll tell you, like, somebody that I listen to that I like a lot more than I thought I would. Right. Black.
Okay.
That dude is pretty sick to me. I mean, besides that, man, like, I'm just starting to listen to like more newer artists, so I don't really know their names like that.
Right.
But I know her is pretty dope. The new Janae Aiko, that thing has a whole nother vibe to it, man. Right. Like, she came back strong with that. The thing with R&B, I like people that can actually sing. Like Tory Lanez, I give him props because he creative. His juices is out creative. There. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the way.
Yeah.
But that's what he does, man. Like, he's on point with it, man. But as far as a singer, I don't look at him like as a singer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to actually be able to sing.
Right. Now, I mean, when you take people like Tory Lanez, like he used like the vocal, synthesizer, whatever it is. But the thing about Tory Lanez is he's pretty good at using samples. Like he took the T-Pain, he took the Ashanti, even took Snoop and made some records and stuff on his new album. So that was pretty dope, and I think that's pretty creative. He's another person that's capitalized off of this whole social distancing and stuff like that.
He's doing his thing, man.
Yeah, he got locked down for a second because of some stuff that did happen on his live, but since he's got out, he's done a good job of taking advantage of that.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So what kind of advice would you give someone that wants to come up to you to perform on your platform, or to get on your platform as far as an artist at Ignite the Night?
Man, one thing I can't stand is how people approach you online. Like they'll just send a message like, "Oh, I'm the hottest." I really can't stand seeing "I'm the hottest."
Right.
Because it's like, if I've never heard of your name, how can you claim that you're the hottest of anything? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I hate it when people just come up and they're not really like introductory.
Right.
Like, I want you to come up. I want you to come to a show first.
Right.
And see how we actually get down before you want to perform at the show.
It might not be for you.
A lot of people, exactly. Ignite the Night is a different, some people ain't got that. It's an acquired taste.
Right.
And don't just come up to me, "Oh, Tone," because they'll see the name or Spaceship or Surge or Flow High. They'll see the name, they'll try to tag along and try to get their little, ride off of that. But nah, man, you got to actually come out here, see what we doing, network with some people, man, and then come at me.
This is Waves of the Bay, DJ Spaceship. We interviewing Tone Kapone. I want you to go ahead and drop your social media contacts of ways people can contact you.
Bet. Yeah, Tone Kapone. I spell my name with a K, so TONE KAPONE. I got the webpage tone-kapone.com. You guys just go there. You'll see everything, man. All my social media links are right there. You can see information about Ignite the Night. You see information about Waves of the Bay. You see DJ Spaceship's page right there too. It's all right there. Or else Twitter. You'll see it all there. But still, Twitter, IG, MR, Tone Kapone.
Now I want to bring it back home. I want to bring it back locally, and I want to throw out the name of some events that goes down here.
All right.
I want you to just tell me what it means to you.
All right.
First one I want to start off with is someone that I really look up to on different levels. She's grown so much. She's focused. She's driven. She's just a great individual. Create and Chill. When you hear Create and Chill, what comes to mind?
Man, I joy and proud. Like, I'm very proud of what Talisa is doing over there, because I knew her before she was doing it.
Right.
So, and I know what goes into putting on successful events.
Have you been to any of her soul cyphers?
No.
Ooh.
No, but I already know they get down, because we had an idea like that. We just didn't get to execute it in time. So I already know, and I've seen the names of the people that's been participating too, and straight beast all around. But man, I'm very proud of what she's doing and the way she's built it up, man. Like, it's been a year now, and yeah, she's doing her thing.
Shout out to Talisa the Poet. And
shout out to Valtrenda, shout out to Danielle.
Yeah, the whole
Create and Chill crew.
Like it's just like coming
the DJ,
home.
shout out to all of y'all.
It's a very warming environment when you come from the door all the way just to getting your seat and just chilling. Like it's no drama, it's grown and sexy. And she does the What You Talking About Wednesdays on her Instagram and on her Facebook. So if y'all wanna, get in there and put some questions out there. Like I recently got on her What You Talking About Wednesday last week. And after 10 p.m. and out, it gets straight grown. Like you got to be grown up for that. There. Yeah, it takes it there. So you got to be ready for that. Another event I want to bring to see what comes to mind with you is Lyrical Hole with Chris Jackson.
Another one I'm very proud of, man. Chris Jackson's one of the underrated, underappreciated artists out there, and he gets love, but he doesn't get enough love because he's been doing his thing at a high level for years now. Like lyrically he kills it, but to also be able to provide a platform for other artists to kill it, and then the name, the whole presentation of it all, like it's official. So, and then stuff he does with the nonprofit and stuff, like we hosted his album release party, like all kinds of stuff. So during that time I got to get like real close to him, to get to know a lot more about him. Right. And that was like 3 years ago, and this dude's still official, man.
What you think about the battle he had at Mike Twice album release?
That wasn't even fair.
You don't think so?
No.
Me personally, like shout out to everybody.
That's all I gotta say.
Shout out to everybody that participated because it was dope all the way around. Like I watched the trash talking. They came to Flohio and Fresh was trying to get it moderate, and it just didn't work. And they both was popping some big guns, but I went to it and I seen the guy he bat. What's the guy name? Did he?
Man, who was it? Red Flare.
I don't want to disrespect him.
I think it's Red Flare.
But the battle was Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson is Chris Jackson.
That goes back to the unappreciated part of it, though, man. He's been doing that for a long time. He's just not in the battle rap scene right now.
Why do you think he doesn't get his just due when it comes to that?
I think people hate because he's better than them at music.
Okay. Another event I want to throw out.
That's a true statement right there. That's whoa.
I can't. You can't. I'm not gonna say I can't. Nobody could dispel that because when it comes to it, Chris got bars. So he should be Chris Bars Jackson, and I want my cut if he used that. I just be giving away free stuff, man. Just, here, you get a free game.
Dropping
you get a
these
free
jewels
game.
on them, man.
Yeah. Let me drop another one for you. Smoking Word.
Novocaine, man, it's a beast.
Gotcha.
Beast, because she's done what we've been doing better than what we've been doing it. Like, and she's done it at different locations, and her crowd supports her more than anybody else. I think crowd supports anybody else in Tampa besides like maybe Tom G. Like she has like a full backing of her niche.
Dedicated.
And she sticks true. She's true to it, and she's not afraid to step out there and do other stuff like the Novocaine and Friends. Right. Like she's not afraid to go out there and do what she wants to do.
She came through the podcast and we interviewed her, and she dropped some gems on us and had us thinking. One of the many things that she said was, when people go to your shows, they go to your shows, but you got to give them something to take away with them of you. And that's where the merchandising and stuff like that has, really come into play. And, like I've had people say to me, hey, when you going to do shirts, and when you guys are going to do shirts, and just gonna be something simple as a lanyard. If you got it and people rocking with you, then that's your new promoter. You see what I'm saying? So they're letting everybody else know about you and stuff like that. I'm gonna take you to another event that goes down in the city, and shout out to DJ Tay too. That's my sister. Can't go without saying.
Peace with it too.
Got to show love to the DJ. The Cypher H.
Amazing. Like the longevity of it to me is amazing.
Gotcha.
Because we're at 6 years right now. They're at like 13. I think going to be 14 this summer. And
rocking.
Just to imagine, like that's how I met H 11 years ago at the Cypher. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, man. Like, and the beast that it's become in Tampa, man. Like it's something that you have to go participate in if you're an artist. Like it's something you need to be at and go meet people, and chances are you've already been there at some point during these 14 years and have some type of memories. But yeah, just the longevity of it all, man. 14 years?
That's a long time.
Bruh.
That's a lifetime.
We're at 6.
That's true. We got a long way to go.
That's twice as much and some as what we've done. Imagine another 6 years of Ignite the Night.
It can be done.
It could be. But imagine another 6 years. My whole head is going to be white.
You might come on home by then.
I don't think so.
I think you will.
I'm here for the long haul.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna bring it back full circle and drop this one to you.
All right.
Ignite the Night. When it comes to Ignite the Night, when you hear Ignite the Night, what do you think of, and what is your vision for? What was your vision for Ignite the Night?
I think Ignite the Night exceeded all my expectations because I had no idea we'd be here 6 years later doing this, and I had no idea to open up the doors that it opened up for us. Because all it was about was just providing a way to get a quality show.
Gotcha.
And just use that to get somewhere else with it. And for what it's worth, it's definitely been worth it. So 6 years later, I see names like what I was doing, man. Like I put together like I do the little video stuff for the screens at the 5-star or whatever.
Right.
So I'm putting together a little video slideshow, and I'm looking back at pictures. I'm looking back at flyers and names that are on flyers, and it's like, dang, we had this dude here 5 years ago.
Back when I had hair.
Queen of X was on our first show.
Right.
Like, dang, stuff like that. It's like, man, the time is flying.
Yeah.
And Ignite the Night's older than both our daughters.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just from where we started to where we're at right now. Just it's a blessing.
What would you say is one of your most memorable moments from Ignite the Night?
I would say
because there's been some moments.
There's been a few.
We've had dance battles. We've had the female cipher.
The beat battle. The beat battle at 5-star, our first event at 5-star, was one of the great moments there. When we did Fresh P and Twice's album release at Pegasus, the old Pegasus, that was one of the best moments right there. And then what's another good moment, man? We've had a lot, man. I say our last show at the Pegasus, that December show when we had Prophet on there and everybody,
right.
That was another good show too, because everybody came out just to say goodbye to the old Pegasus.
Got you. What do you wish you had known when you first started out doing on your journey? What would you wish you had known then that you know now? As
far as like hosting or promoting or what?
All of it.
All of it. I'd say just be more active. Like for real. Like if I would have been more active back then, and I got a lot of stuff done back then, but I'd been more active back then just so we already have that road paved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, besides that, I mean, just keep seeking knowledge, yo. That's one thing I'm trying to soak up still. And yeah, I don't burn bridges, so people I met 13, 14 years ago,
right,
we're still cool. So that's another thing. Like I'm glad I keep it real.
And it's a lot of people that started things out when we started out and before us that hasn't stood the test of time and lasted this long. What do you think are some common reasons as to why people fail to continue to keep something going?
It depends on what they're in it for. Honestly, like we're in it for the love. And if we weren't, then we wouldn't be doing this still. Right. It's just that simple. So some people are in it for whatever reasons they're in it for, and they just don't have they're not built that way, or else they're not adaptable to the situation. Because we've had plenty of shows where stuff goes wrong, but how many shows have we not finished? You know what I'm saying?
I don't see none.
Yeah, we always gonna finish it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that mindset. Like I'm one of the people. Like if we start it, we're gonna finish it. And we got to make it quality. And some people, some people get into it.
I got into it.
And try to get, the 20 artists on stage so they can pay their bills and stuff like that instead of putting on a quality show. And quality lasts.
Now, one thing amongst the many things I know, you're a social media hawk. So you sit high and you look down low and you watch a lot of, different things that are going on. What are some of the things that catch your attention on a positive note?
On a positive note, I like people making me laugh right now, man. I like seeing memes and stuff like that, man. I like people that are in a good mood, that are not, stressing or else not showing the stress.
Right.
Because we all got something to worry about, but as long as it's not right here on the tip of your skin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I like the memes right now, like the Teddy Riley memes.
Oh man.
And I'm Team Teddy.
We're going to talk about that.
The Teddy Riley memes had me going for a while.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, I want to ask you an individual question on yourself. Where do you see you taking it next with you? You like your whole, the radio, you're doing the radio now, you're doing the promoting of the shows, but where do you see you taking it next?
I feel like, especially right now, like the way stuff's going virtual, we're gonna level up on these interviews though.
Gotcha.
Like that's how I feel about it. We're gonna be more visible. Because of that, and I feel like we're gonna blend what we're doing with waves with, people video calling and all this other stuff, and we're about to level up on people. I feel like the major radio stations out here are stuck right now.
You think so?
I do, because they don't really have, like, they're controlled by, whoever the corporation is, and they're not really able to capitalize on, the minds and the personalities and the creativity of the people that got working for them.
I always looked at it like, when it comes to Waves of the Bay, we are the Spotify of FM radio, meaning we can play whatever we want as long as it's clean. Of course, we can't go off the railroad tracks and do anything to shame or tarnish the reputation of the station. But we are truly the Spotify of of FM radio. Like, they can't necessarily do that. We can play what's hot, we can play what's yesterday, and we can play what's tomorrow. We're
a form of a gatekeeper, honestly, man, because you're a DJ, so you get to control where you play your music at. You have a whole network of DJs. I put on events, I promote events, I'm an artist at some point, like, when it comes to getting stuff done in Tampa Bay musically, like, we are two people that have to be known.
Now, when it comes to, let's talk 88.5 with you.
All right.
What was it like the day that you and Spaceship sealed the deal? You got the slot Saturdays, every Saturday, 10 to 12. Make sure you come ride the wave. 88.5, where you can stream it, www.wmnf.org. Hit the live, show some love to the tip jar. What was it like the first time you and Spaceship were handed the keys to the station and it was just you and him just running the show?
It was a relief, honestly, because, like, I like to have control of stuff, though. At least have some type of idea of what we're doing.
Majority control.
So the idea that we actually have our show,
right,
and we don't have to worry, like, shout out to the Saturday Night Shutdown. Like, I appreciate y'all for having us, giving us our night. But, you know what it is, man. We have a night and we're ready to go, and we have to wait a month.
Right.
So it's just the fact that, we get to do what we want to do. We get to blend what we were doing with the podcast and actually bring it to FM
radio
every week.
Right.
And we got a prime time slot on top of that, and we can do whatever we want. Like, it was a relief for me. Now it was like, hey, that's it. Let's go.
Now, speaking about your radio career on 88.5, how instrumental has Concept been for you?
He's everything. He's everything, man. Because years ago, I told him I wanted to get back on radio.
Right.
And he remembered that.
Right.
So when the shutdown came through and they needed some help, he remembered that, man. He reached out to me.
Right.
I didn't even know. Like, he reached out to me.
Right.
And then I was like, bet. And then even, like, when it came down to getting waves, our time slot, we didn't even get that email.
This is true.
He reached out to us. Did y'all see this email?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then just the knowledge he provides, and, like, just always being able to answer questions and stuff like that, just being helpful. I've known Concept since I got here, yo.
That's been a while.
Like, I got a picture. I got a picture with, like, me, Mingle Mix, and some other cats, and Concept is right there in that picture, and it's like, dang. Yeah. And that's like 13 and a half years, and he's been official the whole time, man.
You never know who will play a part of your future, who's presently with you, or someone that you know what I'm saying? It could be anybody. You could take a picture and be like, dang, I didn't even think.
It could be anybody.
Anybody. Dog. You see what I'm saying?
It could be anybody, though.
Now, let's take a back step for a second. How were you able to transition from being at Flowhio to FM with 88.5? Because at Flowhio, we still was able to do our own thing, and we had Surge and Alfie, the real Alfie, come through, and it was like a house party, like a conversation. Like, how were you able to transition off of that?
For me, it was like Flowhio was like, just like you said, it was business, but it was also a party at the same time. And it's nothing different than what we do at Ignite the Night.
Right.
So of course we're going to thrive in that area. But once we got the FM radio nod, it was like business ahead. Like we got to be all the way a professional, all the way business like. And then even like when you went to go interview with them, like you came with the proposal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like straight business the whole time. That way we can open up the doors to everything else we need to get doing, because podcasting and everything is going to be there for us. But how many people could say they got an FM radio show right now?
Right. Now I'm gonna ask you some out of the box questions. It's gonna be kind of like a little rapid fire.
All right.
Just to kind of just switch gears with you right quick.
It's Waves of the Bay, Spaceship interviewing me.
Yes, sir. What's your favorite word? Okay.
I'll bleep it out.
Okay. That one. Okay. What are you not good at?
I've been working on my patience.
Okay. How are you able to work on your patience? Like, what has helped you?
As an Aries, I know I'm impatient, so I just know I need to take a step back before I start flipping out for being impatient. So I just try to give myself a little bit more a little bit more of a leash, especially when it comes to having a daughter now, you know.
Gotcha. If you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Bulletproof.
Why bulletproof? There's so many other ones out there. Mind reader, teleporter.
Well, that's the first one that just popped in my head because I don't let stuff stick to me.
Okay. If you could switch lives with someone for a day, who would you choose and why? They could be someone not non-celebrity. They can be someone that is a celebrity. Like, who would you choose to switch?
I'd probably say Will Smith.
A day in the life of Will Smith?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he seems to have fun with his life.
Yeah, he seems to live a pretty open life.
Yeah, I've been a fan of his for decades now anyway. So
what is it about Will that you know?
He's himself, man.
Okay.
And then just like I said about opening doors, like him, Cube, Queen Latifah, artists like that, like they didn't let people label them or put them in a box. Like they became more than what people thought they would be. Right.
Now, let's talk about something that's going on currently. You have the Versus Challenge. Mm-hmm. Last night, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, you know, this show is pre-recorded. So last night we had the Teddy Riley, Babyface rematch.
Right.
What songs did you hear? What song or songs did you hear last night that you were completely caught off guard? Like, I didn't know this person made that song.
I'm trying to think of the songs right now, but there's some songs from that Teddy made, like the show. Okay. I didn't know Teddy made the show.
I didn't know Teddy did the show until a little bit before they went in.
I knew it when they messed up the first go round.
Right.
You know, I was like, oh snap! But
right.
I didn't know he made that.
I found out probably a week or two before that. Mm-hmm. And the reason being is because shout out to DJ Livewire, who's Dougie Fresh official DJ. They've been going live, and I was like, and they were performing, mm-hmm. and I was like, dang, let me just check out the show. And I looked to see who was the producer, and Teddy's name was that. I was like, wait a minute, so Teddy did this, and then in the verses he explained to Babyface he did that when he was in like the 11th
17,
grade.
17, I think is what he said, bro.
He was in 11th grade, and
you couldn't tell me nothing
at all.
Mm-mm.
So we know that you were team.
I'm Team Teddy, man.
Team Teddy.
Oh, but to answer the rest of that question, though, on Babyface's side, I had no idea he did that many Bobby Brown songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I never looked at who wrote Bobby Brown songs on that album.
He did a lot of Bobby Brown songs, and the thing he did too is he has some joints that he dropped, some songs he dropped in the New Jack Swing era too. And like he told Teddy last night, you know, while you were watching me, I was watching you too. I learned a couple of things from you, but we all know when it comes to Babyface, it's straight love ballads. Like I don't think it's too many people that can compete with him. Love song for love song.
His name is tarnished now, but R. Kelly.
Yeah. That would be a good matchup too. I think even R. Kelly and Babyface, Teddy Riley would have been a good match too, because they have, you know, R. Kelly got the club songs and he got the love songs, but I think R. Kelly has bigger hits than Teddy, or would you say it's the other way around?
It depends on which hits we talking.
He worked with Michael Jackson, he worked with Celine Dion.
It depends on which hits we talking. Teddy did his thing last night, honestly.
He did. Now I will say he did redeem himself. He did come back and redeem himself.
I'm a person that goes for the gusto, so I could appreciate what he was trying to do the first time. It's just when you see it don't work,
right? You
gotta adapt. Like, go off into the cut somewhere, get on your phone and play your music, bro.
Well, they definitely set history last night. They had over 510,000 people, 509,000 people viewing it live, and I think a couple of million people over the whole duration of the battle and stuff like that. Locally, we had the same thing go down with it was Tom G and Lil Key. Mm-hmm. Tom G and Lil Key, they did the Instagram live battle. Did you catch any of that at all? It was. Well, I watched it. I took some of it in.
I bet the comments were everything.
The songs was everything, because Lil Key and Tom G both played songs that I remember. Like, dang, I ain't heard this in a while. Yeah, I remember this. Like, it takes you back to where you heard it, type stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if you had a chance to if they gave you the keys to the Versus Kingdom, what would be a battle that you would put together?
Would it need to be producers or can it be artists?
Whatever.
I would want to see. There's a few people I want to see, man. I'm gonna just name names, and I don't know how I want to put them together, but I think you'll understand where I'm going with it. T.I.
Okay.
Luda.
Now is it T.I. versus Luda?
I don't know yet. T.I., Luda, Ross, Jeezy.
I'm gonna give you two names of two producers.
I don't know how to place those, but
I'm gonna give you the name of two production groups, two producing groups that I think would be stupid if it ever happened. Mm-hmm. Justice League versus Cool and Dre.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Think about it.
I don't know.
Justice League, we know what Justice League.
Yeah, I'm thinking Cool and Dre.
So you think Cool and Dre will take that?
I don't know. No, I would think Justice League would take that, honestly, but I don't know.
I think it'd be pretty dope. And another one that me and Serge was talking about earlier, if you had Quincy Jones versus Barry Gordy.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm just saying.
Ain't nobody got time. And can you imagine them trying to work IG Live?
Dude, that
ain't happening, bro.
We would definitely need a production company. We're gonna wait
That's not happening,
we
bro.
would have to wait till the Rona is done to have them two, because that's not gonna happen at all.
Nah, that one on the production side though, like they're talking Dre versus Puff.
Well,
that would be interesting. I would love to see Pharrell versus Kanye.
I think Kanye got that one.
I don't know. Pharrell is in a whole lot of different lanes.
And Dr. Dre said last night that he's not interested in doing it at all. And I think they're going to be Puff versus Jermaine Dupri next.
People sleep on JD.
Yeah, Jermaine Dupri is definitely somebody. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
People sleep on JD. You throw that Brad out,
bruh. Jagged Edge,
right?
The
People
Brat,
sleep on JD.
Bow Wow, Janet Jackson. Like Jermaine Dupri catalog is pretty.
It's official, man.
It's pretty diverse itself. So yeah, man, we got Tone Kapone up in here. Got to know a little bit more about my youth. Got to know a little bit more about my man.
DJ Spaceship interviewing me. I interviewed him last week. It's only right we return the favor, trying to social distance ourselves.
Pause again, Granddad.
I did. Yeah.
Pause again, Granddad.
I dig it.
You're right, yeah, return the favor. Pause again, Granddad.
Your mind is everywhere right now.
Listen, that's why I am the DJ Spaceship.
But yeah, man, this is Waves of the Bay, episode 24. That was an interview. I appreciate the interview, man. Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. Like, I didn't necessarily get a full stump out of you. You stumbled a couple of times.
Man, I'm gonna have to rewatch this.
You stumbled a couple of times, but you recovered pretty well.
I got you though.
Absolutely. I can't deny that. And it caught me by surprise, but I can admit that. But you stumbled, but you recovered pretty well, my youth.
It flowed pretty cool for me.
It happens. Man. It happens.
And that's one thing I appreciate about you, though. Like the interviews, the questions you ask, man. It's not the regular interviews. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be on.
You have a good time, and it's an entertaining thing too. So thank you for taking time out. I don't get to do many interviews with myself. You know what I'm saying?
I don't get them at all.
People ain't trying to check for us.
I think they're checking. I just think that they don't. They
just know we long winded. They ain't trying to hear it though.
Maybe they're waiting to reach out to us.
Maybe so. But hey, now is the time, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I ain't even gonna give them all the game, man. But this is Waves of the Bay, episode 24. Follow us all social media at Waves of the Bay. This is Tone Kapone
and DJ Spaceship.
And Saturday nights from 10 to midnight, we bring you Waves of the Bay, right here on WMNF 88.5 Tampa.
With the hottest interviews, the hottest music.
You can submit your music for the Tampa Bay Watch segment at wavesofthebay.radio@gmail.com or follow us on all social media at Waves of the Bay.
Every Saturday, 10 to 12. Make sure you come and ride the wave.
Yes, sir.